The Florida Podcast Network, the voice of Florida. This is episode 21 of the Finding Florida podcast on the Florida Podcast Network, heading into the holidays.
Welcome to Finding Florida, the podcast that takes you from country to the coast. Join your tour guides, an unlikely pair, city girl Johny and country boy Glenn, as they explore the amazing sights and sounds of the Sunshine State.
Thank you for joining us on episode 21 of the Finding Florida podcast. We're gearing up for snow machines and snowbirds and all other holiday festivities that Florida has to offer. And a couple of months ago, we spent a fun weekend checking out different pockets of Miami. We explored horse racing, High Lie, Little Haiti, and gambling, and more, and caught up with longtime South Beach resident Jemmy's brother, Gerard. So we'll finally be sharing that adventure on the next episode.
But here are a few quick clips.
Well, Glenn, bienvenidos a Miami.
Okay.
This is your first time. That means welcome to Miami.
Oh, okay, good.
They're coming to South Beach specifically. What is something that someone has to see, aside from the skimpy bikinis on the beach itself?
Which I'm going to point out, Johnny has not taken me to see.
Oh, we're going.
Okay.
I'm worried about your blood pressure.
Jimmy, however, since we came here when you opened, has been talking about one drink non-stop in the city.
The Maria Luisa. It better be, and if it isn't, it is now, because I'm here.
They get loaded into their post. I'm learning all the lingo. Some of it isn't correct, but that's okay.
Because I don't know, I just thought racehorsing, like...
Racehorsing?
Take two. Shut up.
So, Glenn, would you like to clue people in as to why we seemed on a bit of an unexpected hiatus with this show?
Well, we were busy.
Busy.
We do this event every year. I say we because we wrote Jemmy into it too, called the Radiothon, which is our holiday event. It's 12 hours live, and it is a large production.
For Horse Radio Network.
Yeah. Correct. And we give away, I felt like Santa Claus this year. I really have to say I did. We gave away over $10,000 in products, and we just have a great time. We talked to some very famous people. Yes. So that was kind of cool. Priscilla Presley was on this year, and you come up and help us out with that.
Presley, whole bunch
Carson
of people.
Presley? Yeah, there was a whole, Cheryl Ladd.
Good
Can
stuff.
I say?
The
Charlie's
girl who was
Angel.
on your poster on
Yeah,
the wall.
she on the wall when I was a teenager. That's correct.
Not weird at all. But the pre-production that takes, the coordination that takes,
2 months.
It's insanity. And I know that even though I see a little bit more and more into the window behind the scenes as I get more involved every year, like I know I still only see a piece of it. What you do is insanity. Getting all the sponsors coordinated, the hosts coordinated, the guests coordinated. It's the prizes. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's 2 months of preparation. It really is nonstop, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
So I apologize that we didn't put out an episode here, but we're on track.
We're
rolling down the tracks.
Going down the tracks. And meanwhile, while he was busy with Radiothon, while you were super busy, I was also super busy because Flintstone Media, the parent group of this ridiculous operation we have going on here, Florida Podcast Network, it's been experiencing some wonderful, wonderful growth in amazing ways. But with that came some growing pains, and I had to focus on hiring people, training people, transitioning, getting some other certain projects for clients just off the ground and running, and including a new project of my very own, People of Florida, which I'm very excited about. It's my first solo show in two years. I've been having to deal with co-hosting with this one, or that time I finally have People of Florida out. So I was focused on getting that launched and off the ground. So you can check out People of Florida at peopleoffloridapodcast.com or any of your podcast players. But needless to say, the last 2 months, we've just been so swamped. And we actually get into all of what Radiothon took and the details of that process and production and the details of what's been going on with Flintstone Media and a lot more For anyone who listens and likes to get a deep behind the scenes on how podcasting works, especially massive live productions and growing a podcast production house and all of that, we get into that on the next episode of Florida Podcasting News Show. So we'll be recording that and sharing all of that. And that show, being the other show we co-host together, kind of was victim number 2 of the workload swell that we experienced these last couple of months. But that is also coming back. And this next episode is going to be a little different because it's really just going to be Glenn and I diving deep into the details of how we put on a production of the scale of Radiothon, and also how and why Flintstone Media as a business has been booming seemingly out of nowhere. So it's going to be really great. So if you want to get into the details and find out more of the why of this hiatus, you can find it on the next episode of Florida Podcasting News.
But in this episode, we're talking about the magic of the holidays in Florida, primarily some fun facts you can explore yourself over the season, whether you're a snowbird or a permanent resident, and then get into a whole bunch of other Florida stuff, including our second annual gift list, Great Gifts by Floridians versus Goofy Gifts for Floridians, and some found footage from our holiday adventure last year. Listen in.
The snowbirds are descending upon us.
Oh, they're here.
Annual migration.
They're in Ocala.
Oh my God. The first sign is like all the traffic. Yes. The lines get longer at Publix.
At restaurants. Yeah, that's great.
Oh my Lord. Well, what are some of the things that they will find that are super unique to Florida? And how many of these things do you know about, Glenn? So, my brother sent us this interesting list of surprising facts about Florida. He sent this a couple months ago, and I wanted to share it here. So kudos and thanks to Gerard for being probably our number 1 listener. So item number 8, this is interesting. And I think we've talked about this before, but Florida is the only place where crocodiles and alligators live together. So if you are traveling to Florida, you're like exotic animals and stuff, you get to see a twofer. You get crocodiles and alligators all in one trip. Glenn, what would you do if you came across both an alligator and a crocodile at the same time?
Well, we've seen a lot of alligators. I don't know that we've ever seen a crocodile in the wild.
I don't think I know enough to tell the difference.
Yeah, well, remember, it involves the way their teeth are.
Yeah.
So what I remember. That's all I remember. I don't remember which is which.
I think the alligators have the short, stubby snouts, and the crocodiles have the long
skinny
but I don't
snouts.
get close enough to tell.
Exactly. And apparently crocodiles are much nastier.
Oh, well, reason number 2 why I should not be anywhere near them.
You're probably too big for an alligator, but a crocodile would like you.
Okay, so item number 7 on the list, we're working backwards here. Did you know that Florida is home to the largest city in the lower 48 states? And this has come up in some trivia before, Glenn. And I think actually you posed the question to me. So let's see if you remember your own trivia. Do you know what the largest city in Florida is?
Didn't we determine it was Miami?
No, we did not. We determined that we thought it would be Miami, and we were both very, very wrong. Okay, so while New York City is the United States' largest city in terms of population, and Yucatan, Alaska, is the largest city by area in the country, Jacksonville claims the largest area of any city in the lower 48. It's 840 square miles, population over 880,000. And outdoorsy types really love it. So if you want to go check out the largest city in the lower 48 and you're outdoorsy, Jacksonville's your spot. So snowbirds, head to Jacksonville. That's a little far away from where I live and far away from Ocala. Jacksonville's where you want to go.
And I hope we get there this year. That's one on our goal list of getting there this year.
I know. We're putting it on
We
the
have friends
board
there too, so we want to go.
We have no excuse whatsoever. Jonathan, we're coming. I promise.
We're going to get there.
All right. So for other lovers of the outdoors, maybe particularly the water life, you can visit our longest river, which, by the way, flows north. Did you know that our longest river flows north? It's the St. John's River.
No, I didn't know that.
It's 310 miles long. And I have to tell you, when I was a kid, I'll never forget being in geography class. This is a very distinctive memory of mine. The first time I ever learned that waterways could flow north. It took my brain forever to accept that as a concept.
Because north is not downhill.
No, but in my head, at that young, tender age, it
I didn't know
was.
there were any. I thought, I knew there was one like one of those flows north.
Number 5. Oh, this one. So no matter what we do, Florida, it's always trying to kill you in one way, shape,
Yes,
or form.
animals, people. There's all kinds. Everything's trying to kill you in Florida.
Including
Old age.
the plants. Did you know that Florida is home to the world's deadliest tree?
No, I didn't know that.
All right, so native to Florida is the manchineel tree, known in Spanish as La Manzila de la Muerte, the little apple of death. Oh my gosh. So this tree has been recognized by the Guinness Book of World Records as the world's deadliest tree. It bears small fruit resembling apples, which can cause blistering, swelling of the throat, and death for someone who consumes them. The tree also has poisonous sap, just in case the apples weren't enough. The poisonous sap runs through its bark and leaves, which can cause temporary blindness if it gets in your eyes.
Oh my
Isn't
God.
that nice? And what's interesting...
Where are these located?
I don't know, but what's interesting for the holidays is that this tree is actually related to the poinsettia. That vivid red plant that you see decorating everything.
My
it's
table
close
right now.
cousin.
Jeez, don't get that wrong.
Happy holidays!
And
Here's
you
a
know
killing
what?
tree.
First thing you learn when you're a kid in Florida is don't eat anything that grows on a tree unless you're sure what it is. Because
Yeah, exactly. Stay away from all berries, all crawling. Stay away. Just hide in your house under the covers. All right. Item number 4 on this list, thanks again to my brother Gerard for providing it, is that if you're flying down to Florida for your vacation or your wintertime snowbirds, you're continuing quite the cherished tradition. Did you know that the first scheduled passenger airline service actually operated here in Florida?
was it into West Palm? Did we read that?
No. In 1914, the world's first commercial airline service began offering flights between St. Petersburg and Tampa.
Ah.
Yeah, and the first paying passenger...
Wait a minute, that's about 10 feet.
They weren't ambitious folk.
It's like, oh, we're going to take off now. And it's the Wright brothers. They are off in the back.
Right. The first brave passenger was Abram C. Thiel. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that right. Pheil. But he was formerly the mayor of St. Petersburg. And I guess he needed to make a trip to Tampa. So you're right. It's like super short. The flight only took 23 minutes. And it was all of 21 miles.
Yeah, I was going to say. But no, they probably didn't have a bridge between the two back then. So they would have had to take a ferry.
You're right. And actually, speaking of the water travels, that's how it went. It was an airboat. And it could take off on land and water.
I didn't know they had airboats that were that old. That's interesting.
Me neither, but welcome
That's
to
another
Florida.
thing we have to do this year. That's on my bucket list this year, airboat. We haven't done one.
Did you say we or you?
We.
Because
I said
one
we.
of those sounded much better than the other.
And we have one of the largest float plane bases in the state, right in the middle of the state. So we have to go.
No, you keep telling me. Actually, ever since I was a kid and I saw the opening scene of Indiana Jones, and at the end he escapes via a seaplane. Man, I've always wanted to travel in one. So, all right, I admit it.
We'll
it's on
try
my
it.
list too. Okay. All right, number 3. Do you love the beach? Do you love the beach, Glenn? I love the beach.
Yeah, we've been to the beach a few times.
There's lots
you
of
and I.
beaches around here. And if you come to Florida, you have loads to choose from. Well, Florida has the second longest coastline in the United States. But Glenn, can you try to guess what the longest coastline is? I guarantee you're going to get it wrong.
In the United States?
Yeah.
Alaska.
Damn it, you got it right. I thought for sure you were going to guess California.
No, we went to Alaska a couple of years ago. So
Oh, that's right. You learned things. Damn it.
we traveled the coastline by cruise ship, and it was 7 days.
That's
so
right. You've seen it firsthand. I forgot. Man, you were shooing to get that one right. I totally forgot. So yeah, Alaska has approximately 33,904 miles of coastline, but Florida comes in second. Far distant second with 8,436 miles. But yeah, you never have to travel more than 90 miles, as we have learned in the past, to get to the ocean when you're in Florida. It's pretty convenient.
what's cool about living in Ocala is we're halfway in between, so we can go to the Gulf in 45 minutes and the ocean in an hour. we're right in between.
Decisions.
I know.
Such
It's
a
kind of
tough
cool.
life you have.
Kind of neat.
Or you can go visit the amazingly gorgeous, like, swimming holes that they have around Ocala, too. I mean, gosh, those look like they're just made up. If you Google swimming holes in Ocala, you'll see what I'm talking about. They look made up, people. It's amazing. Okay, so as people have started to come down to Florida in the early times, we've met and heard we've met them, they're dead. We've heard stories of families who've traveled down here, the Fords, the Edisons, the Birches and Bartletts, etc. The list goes on. Well, it's no surprise then that as these snowbirds have figured it out that Florida's awesome, but also very hot, that Florida is the birthplace of modern air conditioning. I mean, duh.
Who needed it more?
Exactly. So the origins of modern air conditioning can be traced back to the 1830s in Florida. Dr. John Gorey began searching for a way to mechanically create ice after a machine he used to pump cool air into his patients' rooms malfunctioned. Oh, that must have sucked. So he eventually managed to create and patent a very early version of an air conditioner, lending him the title of the father of air conditioning, the godfather of the AC.
The earlier ones, I think, just had a fan that basically blew over ice.
I mean, you do what you got to do. I think people still do that when they go camping or post-hurricanes, right? And so a statue of Dr. Gorey can actually be found in the U.S. Capitol building. I think that's pretty cool. All because he invented air conditioning. And I must say, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And our final fun fact here as we prepare and head straight to tackling the holidays and all the snowbirds are heading down here. Well, get ready because Florida has more toll roads than any other state.
I figured it out the other day. To come visit you from Ocala down to West Palm, down to your area, Boynton Beach, it is $21 each way.
Oof. That adds up. I mean, I think our tolls are higher in other places. I think they're much higher in like New Jersey or New York.
Yeah, New York, yeah.
But we just have a lot of them. Florida has over 700 miles of toll roads, more than any other state. And Orange County in particular is known for its immense concentration of toll roads. Where
you can't drive anywhere around Orlando without toll roads.
Oh my gosh.
You just can't.
Yeah, and they began to appear when authorities realized there wasn't enough funding to build and maintain new roads. But if you rewind back to episode 15A, I shared a story with you that happened about this time last year in Key Largo on the Dolphin Expressway, one of these very pricey expressways. Robert Craig Davis, 70 years old, he was caught. Yeah, you remember, it's coming back to you. He was caught in the act by Highway Patrol. In the act, using a shield to cover his license plate. He had MacGyvered this thing to work using a remote control. So he'd be sitting in his driver's seat, driving along, and he could just hit a button and the thing would come down, cover his license plate before he went through the toll. And then after he was through it, he just hit the button again and the shield would go right back up like a garage door. Well, law enforcement had been trying to catch him for a year and he ended up being charged with organized fraud, cheating, which I didn't realize was a criminal law, and petty theft. And he was detained by the police, released the following day from jail. But let this be a lesson to you, whether you're a snowbird or a permanent resident. Don't do what Robert Craig Davis did, or you too could end up in jail. Welcome to Florida for the holidays. Pay those tolls. Do you know, I just saw this. So funny you bring this up. I just saw this. They still sell these on Amazon. The shields?
Yeah, you can buy them and they're remote controlled from the cab. And what'll happen is a black thing comes down over your license plate and then you can hit a button. It goes back up. It's $150 on Amazon.
Okay, so later in the episode, we're going to get into goofy gifts for Floridians. Add that to the list. Just know that you might also have to donate bail money at some point.
But, it is expensive. I mean, when you think about coming down to visit you or when you came up to help us out, it was $40 in tolls. It's not cheap.
Glenn.
Yeah, well, Jennifer at Horse Radio Network.
Totally noted. All right. Well, before we get into everything else that's going on in the state of Florida, just a quick reminder for you to please follow us on social media. You can look us up on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at Find FL Podcast. You'll be able to follow our adventures in real time.
We also want to thank all of you who send us comments, whether it's on social media or on our website or through our email. You can email us by way of Jemmy or Glenn at floridapodcastnetwork.com. We really appreciate all your notes, ideas, and feedback.
And we also have roaming reporters available, and you can be one. Anyone can contribute to this show as a roaming reporter. And what the roaming reporter program is, it's you out there doing all your normal, regular things, your weekend activities, adventures that you go on, and your staycations and whatnot. If you've gone out to Florida and explored something new and found something cool or met someone interesting or eaten at a fun restaurant or whatever it is, just pull your phone out when you're done, record like 5 minutes of your experience and give us your feedback. Tell us what it was like. Share your name, of course. And if you happen to be a podcaster as well, you can also include the name of your show. We'll give it a shout out. But just tell us what kinds of things you do and did and love to check out in your town. Keep us up to date and we can include it in the show. You can email those sound clips to Jemmy, Jaime, at floridapodcastnetwork.com. Or if you just have a question, shoot us an email. So we're about to dive into our second annual double dose of our list fix with Great Gifts by Floridians versus Goofy Gifts for Floridians, and we'll do so right after this. You are listening to the Florida Podcast Network, the voice of Florida. FPN is committed to promoting local brands and businesses through a network of podcasts celebrating the Sunshine State, and you can be a part of it. We'll make it easy to showcase your brand through the power of podcasting. Our team has successfully worked with over 50 companies to help promote their brands. Target our niche audiences through ads and host-read commercial spots on individual episodes, or contribute content to a show on a regular, ongoing basis. Make your brand part of the FPN family. Head to floridapodcastnetwork.com/partner with us for more information, to download our media kit, and to reach out. The Florida Podcast Network, celebrating Florida one local brand at a time. Guess what time it is, Glenn?
What time is it?
It's time for us to find out more fun stuff about the state of Florida.
Ho, ho, ho!
Merry Christmas!
Great Gifts by Floridians.
We are continuing our annual tradition, Great Gifts by Floridians versus Goofy Gifts for Floridians.
So let's start off with our Great Gifts by Floridians. Great Gifts by Floridians will be a short list of great gifts made right here in Florida and that are perfect for the holidays.
So you can give these out to friends who are far away and in turn support your fellow entrepreneurial Floridians this holiday.
It's always great to support local small businesses with your gift giving, and I found some great stuff out there being made by locals, and I caught up with the people behind each of these items so we can share these great gift ideas with you. These are all real local, real Florida, and really cool, and I can't wait to share them all. So let's start off with a gift idea from a couple of guys I met recently at a business networking conference in Boca Raton, Johny and Chris with locket plates.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me.
Well, I had the pleasure of being at a networking event a couple of weeks ago, and it was awesome. It was a whole bunch of local entrepreneurs, and I was so excited to be there and be a part of it. And as I was scoping out the room, I took notice of these two and their product that they invented themselves, and I thought it was so smart and so cool. And I just wanted to throw some support because I think it can make a great gift for the holidays. So I would like to welcome Johny and Chris from Locket Plates. Hello, Johny and Chris.
Hi, how you doing? Good to be here.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So tell us all about your product.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So Locket Plate, what it is, it's two identical plate, and with our patented lock system, you just a twist of the wrist, you can create a sealed lock container. You could carry your food and your drink all in one hand with its cup attachment under, wherever you go to the workplace, picnic, etc. And if you clumsy like my co-founder Chris, who I created it for, you could just pick your meal back up from the floor with no mess.
Man, I'm a mother of a 7-year-old, and when I hear of picking a meal up off the floor with no mess, I'm like, hallelujah.
Yes, and
go ahead.
Yeah, that's why we pursued it, and realizing that mothers and everyone could benefit from such a great product that can not only bring you convenience when you're rushing at the house, but it saves you time when preparing meals, etc.
So my parents took my son out for a little grandparent date last night. And before they came back, my dad calls me and he says, "Hey, we just stopped at the Haitian restaurant. Do you want us to bring you home any food?" I'm like, "Yes, please." And so when he was bringing it home in his styrofoam and I was heating it up for lunch today, I couldn't help but think about the locket plates and how convenient it would have been, if I needed to head out the door or something like that, to take it with me, because they're basically like an updated version of Tupperware, right?
Yes, it is. And it's funny that you mentioned island cuisine, because me being Haitian and Chris being of Jamaican descendant, people from the island, we share our culture through food. Mm-hmm. And you can't go to a party without bringing that food back home for your family members to, have a go at it. And this product was made for sharing food.
Oh, so brilliant. So brilliant. So they're two identical plates, and each of them kind of looks like a bowl, really. And then you put them one on top of each other and you just twist it like you were saying, and they lock in and nothing can come out. You can drop it. And I thought it was just, there's so many different ways that you can use it. So if I were thinking about giving this as a gift, first of all, I know that I'd want to probably drop some on my parents so that next time I go over there, they have them already so I could take food back home. But if I wanted to give them a gifts for any other reason, what reasons might people want to give gifts for these?
Well, the reasons are endless, and that's the beauty of the Like It plate. You could use it in so many ways. For example, if you have coworkers that always bring lunch to work, that'll be perfect for them.
And also another gift is, like you said, like a mother who has a child. Basically, as the mother is preparing the meal for the child, she could also prepare a meal for herself. And when she's going to the car, they stack on top of each other. So you can, put your drink on top of the plate and stack your child's meal on top of your plate, and easily walk to the car with one hand free to do so many endless things.
Beautiful. One of the wonderful advantages that we have living in Florida is we have outdoor weather all the time. There are concerts and festivals and different things that you can go. They're open to the public. You bring a blanket, you're sitting down on the lawn and watching a show or whatever. Well, oftentimes there's food to buy there, but it's expensive. So the alternative is put your own food in a locket plate and bring it right there with you. It's just brilliant.
That is very true. This is the perfect plate for your picnic date, your outdoor family gathering. You have your drink and your food, holding it all in one hand. You have a free hand to socialize, just to enjoy the moment, and you could eat from anywhere.
And the cups you already have in your house, you can use them. You don't have to buy a special cup.
Brilliant. One other thought just popped in my head. I love my favorite things to do with my kid is going to the movies. And I almost always bring my own snacks. I do buy popcorn when I'm there, but I always bring my own snacks. And I know a lot of people who like to bring actual meals to the movies. Well, this is a way you can sneak them right in.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Chris and Johny, thank you so much. How long have you guys been working on this?
Well, from conception of the idea to now, it's been 3 years in the making, and it's been so rewarding seeing the students at the FAU University currently using our product. It's been an amazing journey, and it's Like It plate is growing as people finding out about all the benefit and uses of the product, and we loving the journey.
That's wonderful. I love to see guys putting, their brains together and just getting something really great out of it. So where can people find the locket plates so they can order them for themselves? or their friends.
It's available at our website, locketplates.com. And we have a special going on for the holidays right now. You'll get a pack of 8 plates, which form 4 containers for $13.99.
Wow, that is a bargain.
It really is only for the holidays, and I hope people take advantage of that. It is made for the holidays.
Well, I think it's absolutely brilliant. So happy holidays to both of you. I wish you nothing but continued success, and I can't wait to see what else comes from the Locket Plate adventure. Thank you both, Johny and Chris.
Well, that was really cool. I went and watched the video. These are really neat. I don't know why anybody didn't invent them before. It is really cool. I love how the plates lock together and you just take it away. And it's not like, I assume they're styrofoam?
No, they're plastic, so they can be microwaved, dishwashed. They can put them in the rack, all that stuff. They're completely reusable, so it's great for the environment as well. And when I was talking to them and seeing the product, because I got to see them when I was at the networking conference, you know where my mind immediately went? It was to you and I hanging out at the Murakami Museum for that Japanese festival last year. And finding a place to sit. It was a little awkward with our food. And how do we it would have been so nice with these Locket plates.
And they lock on top of a solo cup. That's pretty cool. So you can walk around with it. And I love how they stack and lock into it. It's just really cool. Really cool product.
Really cool.
I don't know
these guys, I mean, they thought of it from start to finish. They worked on it. I'm just so proud of them.
It's one of those products I don't know why it wasn't invented before.
I know, exactly. It's one of those, you're like, dang it, I wish I had thought of that. But anyways, go to locketplates.com. We have a link for you in the show notes. And up next, we also got to talk with a buddy of both of ours, Chris Krimitsos. Wait a minute. Chris and Johny from Locket Place. Chris Krimitsos, Chris Kringle, Christmas. I'm sensing a theme here. Didn't mean to, but I'm sensing a theme. But Chris Krimitsos, he recently wrote a fantastic book called Start Ugly. And you had a chance to pick it up before I did. And then I recently read it. And now Jordan's reading it.
Yeah, your son's reading it.
He's totally reading it. There's a picture on social media to prove it. But I got to catch up with Chris and talk a little bit about why Start Ugly makes the perfect gift idea for just anybody on your list, really. For the avid reader in your life, or for the aspiring business person, or just somebody trying to make their way in the world with a little less fear of failure or fear of success or what have you, there's an awesome book I just recently read called Start Ugly, and it's by my buddy, Chris Krimitsos. Hi, Chris.
Hey, Jemmy.
That's so great to have you on. So first of all, people need to rewind back to People of Florida, where you can find a whole huge long interview with Chris at episode 5. But for this right here, we're talking about your book, Start Ugly, which I think is such a great book for so many different people. Who do you think Start Ugly would be the perfect Christmas present for?
Well, remember, after Christmas, you have New Year. So you have a lot of people starting different behaviors.
That's
so
true.
This would be a phenomenal Christmas gift for anyone looking to start anything in the realm of creativity, business, even a hobby. It's a really great gift. Right now, a lot of my friends who are consultants in the service-based industry give it as a gift to their clients. But it's just one of those books that gives you a little guide of, I just want to be very clear. It's a short story, a fictional story about a person on a journey. It's a pretty cool little story that helps break open the Start Ugly philosophy.
So what is the Start Ugly philosophy, if you had to kind of put into a few words for us?
Honestly, the Start Ugly philosophy is a philosophy of making sure you get what you can while you're alive in the time you have. So at the end of your life, you don't have any what ifs. So it's really allowing you to accomplish what it is you want to accomplish in your lifetime, and getting rid of all regrets.
I mean, grab the bull by the balls, man. Well, you might get kicked the first couple of times, but eventually you'll learn to dodge those hooves, and you'll just succeed in life. But it starts with starting ugly. No matter what you are trying to accomplish, just get off the couch, get off the excuses train, and just start to do it, right?
Yeah, and I always tell people it's not start ugly, stay ugly. It's start ugly and perfectly execute.
That's true.
So that's the key. Like if you start ugly, stay ugly. I can't promise you any results. But if you start ugly and perfectly execute from there, which is pretty much everybody that's ever started something, that's how it works. You'll see results and you'll see things grow. It's a really cool little book. We when we released it in October 23rd, it sold out within 72 hours. It's back in stock now on Amazon. It's a really simple read, especially when you have downtime from Christmas to New Year's. It's a very easy read to digest and take in.
Absolutely. And, at the price point that it's at, it's actually really perfect for anybody who's involved in one of those like Secret Santa gift givings or one of those gift exchanges where there's a dollar amount cap. Like this will fit right into most of those dollar amount caps. And it's really a book that everybody can pull. In fact, my 7-year-old was reading it the other day and he loved it. And I was like, well, this is great. Chris is an awesome influence for generations and generations. But thank you so much, Chris, for talking to me today. There definitely will be a link to Start Ugly in the show notes. And if they want to follow you in general, how do they connect with you, Chris?
ChrisKrimitsos.com. And just remember, Start Ugly is the only book of its kind, so you can't miss it on Amazon. And I always tell people we created it so it looks like a little poster. So if it's on your bookshelf, even if you don't read it and the words Start Ugly stare back at you, I could almost guarantee your productivity will go up because it will rob you of any excuse of why you shouldn't start something.
It actually is really a cute motivator because I use Post-it notes all the time and it looks like there's a Post-it note right on the cover just telling you to start ugly. And it's just exactly the kind of messaging that I need. It's short, sweet, direct, and it gets you off your butt. So I love it, Chris. Thank you so much and best of luck with the book.
Oh, thanks for having me on the list. I appreciate it.
Well, you can hear a full interview with Chris on the latest episode of People of Florida. He was my guest. Episode 5 is due out December 11th. And he just dives super deep into just his life experiences that led him to creating the book. And he just ends up connecting with the reader a lot more as to how fantastic this book is. So go check out People of Florida episode 5 and learn a little bit more about Chris.
Holy moly! Merry Christmas!
Goofy Gifts for Floridians.
And in Goofy Gifts for Floridians, we'll go through some funny items I found around the internet that may just be the perfect gag gift for your Floridian friends. And Glenn, I'm going to have you try to name that price with these, okay?
Okay. But I hope you're starting with the classic.
What's the classic?
Are you kidding me? The classic is the pink flamingo stuck in the front yard. That's the and that is the classic quintessential Florida thing.
Can I tell you, I've never had one, but what's so funny, especially, I'm trying to remember what time of year they do this. I can't remember what time of year, but my church does this thing called flocking people. They have this total cache of like hundreds of these damn pink flamingos, and you can pay and they'll flock someone's house and just fill the lawn up with
pink flamingos. Well, I'll have you know, you can buy about 100 different varieties of pink flamingos at Amazon, just for your shopping pleasure this holiday. And on Prime, $10.99 will get you a set of 4.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. I have to go check. Are there any ones that have interesting characters about them or look like they might be a little more on Jemmy's style? Are there zombie flamingos? Anything like that?
They all kind of look like pink flamingos.
All right. Well, I'm putting the call out there. If anyone can find a zombie pink flamingo, I'll put it up on my, well, I don't have a lawn. I'll put it up on my patio.
I'll say, in case you don't like the color pink, they do make purple ones, but that's kind of obnoxious because, who's ever seen a purple flamingo?
It's just,
but yeah.
Well, I was about to say.
And by the way, can we also say,
I just made a call for zombie flamingos.
It's true. If you've never met a pink flamingo in person, they are the stinkiest damn birds.
Super stinky. In fact, we did my son's school did a school trip to the zoo not that long ago, and yeah, as soon as you're approaching the flamingos, you know it.
I think it's their shrimp diet that's causes that.
So gross. But anyways, I have my own list. Are we talking pink flamingos, Glenn?
Yeah, I'm done now.
All right.
This is about Florida without mentioning the pink flamingo, which is required.
All right. So as Dave Butler from the Florida Beer Podcast has been making a point to let us know, Florida is booming with its craft beer breweries popping up just left and right. And this next gift is perfect for the Floridian craft beer connoisseur. So they're called Brewhouse Beer Chiller Sticks. These Brewhouse Beer Chiller Sticks are a must-have for the stocking of your favorite beer connoisseur. With these handy accoutrements, they'll be able to keep their brew nice and fresh until the very last drop. They're like ice sticks that you...
So like a long ice cube?
Yes, and you drop them into your beer.
Are they on a stick? Are they actually on a stick?
It looks like a stick.
How are you supposed to drink your beer? You're poking yourself in the nose all the time.
That is a very good question. I don't have the answer to it yet, but maybe if you buy me some beer sticks, I'll figure it out. But yeah, they're called beer sticks. It's great for any craft beer connoisseur. And if your loved one is so dedicated to the love of beer that they never want to part with it for any reason, there's this wonderful gift option. The shower beer holder called Happy Hour in the Shower. Help your favorite beer drinker get their day started off on the right note with this shower beer holder. It comes with an industrial Velcro holder that will ensure the can will never fall to the floor. So here's my first question for you, Glenn. Between the beer chiller sticks and the shower beer holder, which do you think has the higher price point?
Oh, I think it's got... Please first tell me the shower beer holder has a little cup for nuts.
Whose nuts? The nuts you eat are the ones you're showering? No, there's no cup for your nuts.
So, I'm going to guess the shower beer holder.
Wrong. The shower beer holder comes in at $12.97. But the beer chiller sticks are $16.95, so slightly more. There you go. Or you can just get them as a combo pack and make your beer lover extra happy. In fact, I think the beer chiller sticks would be perfect for your beer in the shower because it would keep the beer extra cold while you're steamy in the shower. Look at that! I'm making gift packs left and right. All right. So up next, for the Florida man who has a tendency to lose his underpants, I bring you Archie McPhee instant underwear. These hilarious stocking stuffers are sure to get some laughs come Christmas morning. Each tin contains a pair of compressed tighty-whities. Simply add water and watch them loosen up. How much do you think Archie McPhee's instant underwear sells for, Glenn?
$10.95.
No, they come in at the bargain price of just $6.20.
Probably about the right price.
Yeah, but my question is, okay, so you add water.
Now you got wet underwear.
Exactly.
That's what I was thinking.
Apparently they're perfect for the Floridian who's wet his underpants and has to take them off and doesn't mind another wet pair as long as it's just water. Like, Lord. Okay. And speaking of troubles containing yourself down under, for the Floridian who is particularly flatulent, perhaps grandpa who has a tendency to let loose and just not care anymore, we have the fart gas neutralizers called Subtle Butt. Yes, fill Christmas mornings with smiles and laughter with a few fart gas neutralizers in each stockings. These antimicrobial activated charcoal pads will help filter and neutralize foul odors. How much do you think Subtle Butt goes for, Glenn?
Can I just say that your son and every other 6-year-old boy in the world needs these?
Exactly. They're great for ages 6 to 65.
I don't know why boys that age are so infatuated by that. $6.95.
$6.95. No, you're coming in way too low, Glenn. These things are high quality products right here. They're $12.95 for the pack.
Wow. Yeah.
All right, up next. Do you have a Florida friend who would rather toss their snot rags on the floor than actually get up and throw them out? Well,
I hope not.
keep your room looking clean without having to make constant trips to the trash can by getting your hands on the remote control garbage can. With the easy-to-use controller, you'll be able to direct this battery-powered appliance directly to where the mess is. How much do you think a remote-controlled garbage can would cost for your Florida friend?
Oh, that's got to be $99.95.
Again, way too low. You cheap bastard. $184.97.
I think I can get up.
It? Just so you don't have to get your butt off the couch. Oh my gosh. And well, this is going to be somewhat similar, you'll see. So we Floridians get creative when we cook out. From bringing in our various cultural influences and cooking a variety of foods on the grill, to also the equipment that we use to do the grilling itself. And nothing says backwoods trailer park Floridian cookout like, drumroll please, brrr, your garbage can charcoal barbecue grill. Yes, cook in true hobo fashion without fear of poisoning everyone at the patio table by preparing your meals in this garbage can charcoal barbecue grill. The simple trash can design makes it extremely portable, easy to set up, and offers a huge cooking capacity. How much do you think a charcoal grill that looks like a garbage can would cost?
I'm going with $29.95.
Not a chance. You better save up for this puppy.
But I could buy a metal garbage can and I could put a grill on top for $29.95.
Yeah, details. This baby is going to run you $149.99.
Expensive garbage can.
I mean, your whole entire summer cookout budget is gone. That's crazy. Okay, and we have one last item on this list. Again, perfect for your Floridian friends, and it's also quite goofy. There's a certain species of Floridian that you can tell has spent like their entire lives out in the sun on a fishing boat or on a dock.
Leathery looking ones.
Yes, they have that raspy voice. They drink sun up to sundown, like that type. Yeah, they look like a bit leathery. We've come across them on our adventures.
Yes, we have.
Many. In fact, we try to look for them.
Yeah.
And Glenn,
those are the ones we seek out.
Yes, and when we see them, we say that they look very, what's the word? They look very, you got nothing?
Oh.
They look very salty.
Oh, salty. That's right.
Yes. Well, this next gag gift is perfect for them. Do you know the Morton salt package with the girl with the umbrella? She's walking around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very iconic, old school branding logo. Well, imagine that on the side of a mug. So this is now the Umbrella Girl Don't Be a Salty Bitch mug. Okay? Spice up your coffee breaks with some humor by pouring your hot beverage in this Umbrella Girl Don't Be a Salty Bitch mug. This comical novelty mug comes with the iconic Morton Salt Girl printed on both sides for all to see, and it says right on it, "Don't be a salty bitch." How much do you think the "Don't Be a Salty Bitch" mug goes for, Glenn?
That's $14.95.
Oh, you're so close. $11.99, and you can get your friend with the leathery skin who loves to bake in the sun. Don't be a salty bitch mug. Oh my gosh, I love it. Well, all of these.
Well, you found some classics this year.
Oh yeah, I did, and all of them. They're high quality, they're sure to please, and they can all be found on Amazon. And we'll include links to all of them, of course, in the show notes, so you can do your gift shopping in one fell swoop here. And thanks to thisiswhyimbroke.com for collecting all of this weird stuff in one wonderful place for me to find on the web. Thanks for coming along with us once again as we are finding Florida. We hope this episode has given you some great ideas on fun holiday stuff to go out and do, and great or goofy gift items for your loved ones. There's just so much to do in Florida for the holidays, despite the warmer temperatures, and we can't wait to keep tackling them ourselves. For both of us, we really can't focus on any of it until Radiothon is behind us, and yay, it's over!
And up next for us, we'll be bringing you our Miami adventure full of sports and betting and new things for both of us, actually, and a lot of competition because it seems like we're very competitive when we go do these things. Why? We hope the rest of 2019 is bright and full of love, magic, and adventure for all of you. In 2020, we'll try to finally bring you our long-awaited adventure of checking out some of the horsey attractions in my hometown of Ocala. And it's about damn time. I mean, we've been doing this show for a couple of years and we haven't done my hometown. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the podcast today so you don't miss any of it coming up.
And we'll be revisiting with friends again in Key West as part of another cruise. So the planning for next year's calendar is definitely underway. If you're a Visitors Bureau or Chamber of Commerce and you'd like to have us visit your town, just reach out. You can find us at FloridaPodcastNetwork.com. We can't wait for us to bring you, our listeners, along on all of our adventures as well. As with every episode, you can find our pictures, videos, and other updates on social media. Just head to findingfloridapodcast.com for all the links. And remember to join our group of Florida Podcast Network enthusiasts on Facebook by looking up FPN Insiders. Share your own Florida holiday pics with us in there. We'd love to see them. And we'll be closing out the show today with some unreleased found footage from our holiday adventure last year.
Yes, when we did our holiday episode last year, we went to the Delray Beach Playhouse, and it was the 1940s radio hour, and that's where Jemmy impressed me once again that she knows every word to every song that's ever been made in history, even back to the 1940s, which was ridiculous. But it was a play with music by Walton. So in this play, they did a Foley Christmas Carol where they got basically the Foley artists out to make all the sound effects, and it was so cool.
That's cool.
And we didn't play it last year, but we have a recording of it. So we're going to play it for you this year as we play this episode out. Merry Christmas, everybody. Have a great new year. And we hope that you come with us on some adventures next year here in Florida. Jemmy, will you come along with me on some adventures next year?
I don't think I have a choice, unfortunately. So anyways, here's to your holidays.
And here's to your next Florida adventure.
Tonight, the Beddington Players present our traditional radio adaptation of Charles Dickens' immortal Yuletide classic, A Christmas Carol, brought to you by Nash, the car that's built like a bridge. Nash is here to stay. Imagine, if you will, London.
Of more than 100 years ago. Christmas cakes, fresh tasty bread.
It's Christmas time.
The snow is falling gently on the town.
We hear the jingle of sleigh bells.
And the clip-clop of horse-drawn carriages.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la.
Carolers and children playing around a bonfire. Let's play hide and seek.
Hide and seek, hide and seek.
Where are you?
And then there was Scrooge. Bah, humbug.
Old Ebenezer Scrooge shut up his counting house that Christmas Eve and set out for his home where he looked forward to a nice, quiet night alone.
Curse this blizzard, I'll never get home. Oh no, that wretched tune again! Get back to your homes, you're creating a nuisance! Tuppence for the poor, Governor. I'll give you tuppence, take that! Oh. I'll just turn down this alley. The snow is deeper than I thought. Ah, home at last.
Scrooge arrived home and climbed the many flights of rickety stairs to his garret flat.
It's cold.
Scrooge opened his door and locked himself in. Suddenly, at the window, the air was filled with phantoms all moaning and chains. The clock struck 1. Scrooge leapt into his bed and hid under the covers.
Go away from my door. I won't let you in.
I'm already in, Chrome Top.
Who and what are you?
I am the ghost of Christmas past. Rise and walk with me,
Why?
so that I may show you
Show me what?
yourself.
They passed through the walls of Scrooge's bedroom and found themselves on a country road with fields on either side. It was a crisp winter's day.
Oh, Spirit, I was born in this place. I was a boy here.
London Bridge is falling down.
Why, there's Bobby and Dick and Mary and Tom and his eye, Ebenezer.
They cannot see you. They are but the shadows of things that have passed. They have no consciousness of us.
Wait. Oh, look. That little boy over there, that's me, alone. I was always left alone, holidays and all. Oh, Spirit, take me back. I cannot bear to see anymore. Take me back, please, 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 please. Why, I'm in my own bed again. Spirit? Spirit? Have I been dreaming? I think I have. It was an illusion, nothing more. A nightmare. And then time for bed. Imagine. Spirits. It was all my imagination. To bed. What was that?
Ebenezer Scrooge.
Who's there?
Ebenezer Scrooge.
He's been called away. Go away! You're breaking down my door! No! No! Return with us next week for the conclusion of Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol, brought to you by Nash. Nash is here to stay.